Chairman of the American Anti-Slavery Group.
Thank you. Simon Deng is an American hero. He walked here from New York City so African people can walk freely in their own land. We said never again, but on our watch today, an entire people is methodically being destroyed. If we cannot or will not stop it and save them, then we can at least speak the truth to them in the face of this genocide. And I came here to speak the truth. The truth is that in Sudan, there's a scene of two mass murders. One in Darfur occurring in front of our eyes today, and the other in southern Sudan, which is currently only on hold. And why has the West averted its eyes? The truth is that we don't act in Darfur because the victims of the genocide in Darfur are blacks and Muslims. And the truth is that we don't act in Darfur because the perpetrator of this genocide are Arabs and Muslims. This is a racist jihad. You're not supposed to say that, but that's the truth. Why did no one stop the murder of 2 million and the enslavement of tens of thousands in Sudan, in southern Sudan? For 20 years, the truth is obvious because the slaughtered and the enslaved were African Christians and African tribalists, and because their killers and their enslavers were Arabs and Muslims. It was a racist jihad. And you're not supposed to say that, but it's the truth. In Darfur today, the African Muslims do not want to be Arabized. They want their own culture, their own customs, their own dress, and their own language. Arab supremacists won't abide that, so there's a jihad. The West is embarrassed by these uncomfortable facts. The Arabs and their European allies are covering up these facts. At the UN, the Arab League and the Islamic bloc, along with the Europeans who make money on deals with Sudan, are in alliance of mass murder, and they cover it up. And so the truth about these mass murders is just not supposed to be spoken, but someone has to speak it. We owe it to the victims, and we owe it to ourselves. You see, the truth is that long before they attacked America on 9/11, and long before they blew up the trains in Madrid, and the buses in London, and the school in Russia, and the train in Madrid, and the pizza parlor in Jerusalem, long before the so-called civilized world felt the lash of the jihad, the jihadis came to Sudan. You're not supposed to say that, but that's the truth. It was in 1989 that the National Islamic Front came to power in Khartoum and declared a holy war against the infidels in Sudan's south. They killed over 2 million people. They enslaved tens of thousands in a self-declared jihad. Simon Deng, today's hero, is a jihad slave. Don't forget that. He is not a cotton-picking slave. He's not a tobacco-picking slave. He's not a plantation slave. He was a jihad slave. They did not want Simon as a slave for economic reasons. They wanted him as loot in their conquest of another culture, just like in Darfur.
That's right.
The West failed Simon's people and is failing all the others oppressed by Arab supremacism and by jihad because the West does not have those categories in its head. We are in jihad denial. We know it, though. The human rights establishment here wants to act when there's a Westerner who's done evil. That's good. But they're paralyzed when the evil is done by others. Imagine for a minute if the Janjaweed were Westerners. This whole mall would be filled up with people with that sign they carry, "Not in my name."
That's right.
Simon Deng's an escaped slave, but more than that, he's a hero. He speaks the hard truths. So let us not fool ourselves or anyone else. You don't fight a racist jihad with rock concerts and wristbands. Let's be truthful. Let's all stop screaming, "Do something," unless we, the American people, are prepared to do what it takes. And you know what? We're not quite prepared. We're not quite prepared. We might send in UN troops or African Union troops and even NATO troops, but first have to announce an exit strategy so the jihadis can just wait us out. We'll send them in with orders to just fire when you're fired upon. If you want to free the black slaves of Darfur, if you want to stop the jihad, you know that we have to do something hard, and that is to defeat Khartoum with much patience and much blood. So let us bow our heads and be truthful. Unless we change who we are, sweet, sweet America, with our gentle songs of peace and our utterly useless reasonableness, as we are today, we will not save them. Only if we bring ourselves to see the hard truth of what must be done, then and only then can we permit ourselves to say, looking at today's jihad slaves, in the words of Harriet Tubman, who risked her life to free slaves in these lands, I have seen their tears and heard their cries, and I will give every drop of blood in my veins to set them free. Thank you.